So, sorry I look like a silhouette again. I tried to get good lighting. Yeah, let me try if I can get near the light. The light. No, that doesn't seem to help. Does that help? No. This is like some dark avant-garde Pedro Armado horror film or something. Or Bellatar film. I'm just like, obscured by the darkness under a Japanese influenced painting or print. And I'm gonna ramble again. I come to you with my ramblings. Actually, I wouldn't consider this a rambling. I wanted to talk about something that was kind of fucking insane. And the title of the video suggests that this is kind of fucking insane. So you got Dan Crenshaw, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and all these Republicans trying to galvanize and to compel President Biden to fucking invade Mexico because of fentanyl. The drug that's like one of the strongest opiates in the world, if not the strongest, that they're cutting a lot of cocaine with and heroin with, and putting all, the street drugs are putting fentanyl in the shit and drugs for some reason, which is kind of, an argument for legalizing all drugs, because if you did that, it would be safer for people to buy these substances, and they'll know exactly what they're getting, and they won't have these assholes who just put, in order to save time, money, just fuck these substances with fentanyl. I kind of want to go somewhere with that point later on in the video. Hopefully I don't forget. But they basically want to invade Mexico, and they've been talking about this type of shit since 2018, which is utterly and fantastically retarded. Because look at it. We were in Afghanistan for 20 years, and we had to get out. We spent trillions of dollars on it. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of Afghanis and Americans were killed and died, all for naught. And yeah, it would be beautiful if we just invaded our neighbors and had a fucking war that lasted 2 decades. Mass civil arrests in North America, the southern part of North America, for decades. Yeah, that would be fucking lovely. Yeah, that sounds incredible. That sounds like an incredible fucking time. I'm telling you, these fucking Republicans, they have fucking fungus in their brain. They're psychopathic, psychotic, and just utterly, and they're intellectual, their intellect and cognition is just in perpetual decline. The majority of them believe in fucking magic sky daddy, and and all types of weird shit, except basic scientific facts like evolution and fucking climate change. Some of them might even believe the world is flat. I don't know, these people, you can't reason with these people. American conservatives are fucking insane. Conservatives in general, are stupid, but American conservatives are spectacularly, bombastically stupid. I don't even know how they made it this far in life, let alone they'll have a position of government, be in a position of power with the government. You want to invade Mexico? Really? Mexico. I think if we invaded Mexico, the world would view it the same way the Russian, the world views Russia when they invaded Ukraine. It would be the same shit, but not quite, because at least Russia had justification. I use that in air quotes because they didn't really have any justification, because they shared a similar culture that was inextricably linked, and Russia derived from Kiev. At least they gave arguments. We're just invading Russia because we caused an opiate crisis in this country, and we cracked down on the pharmaceutical companies, and a lot of people couldn't. They were addicted to these pharmaceuticals and these opiates. So they had no other way to get that, so they just turned to the street, and then boom, we have a fentanyl crisis. And I actually had this theoretical thing. I mean, it's already a word for what I have, so I didn't even have to go through all this effort to invent a word. But they call them, I think they're called injection sites, where basically people are put in these rooms or surveilled rooms where they're given clean needles and they're able to take heroin or any type of drug they want, or not any drug they want, but specifically heroin, so they don't die. And it's basically, essentially, it saves lives. I'm starting to notice more I make these videos that I use the word essentially a lot. Maybe my vocabulary is not as expansive as I thought it was. Essentially, yeah. Anyway, yeah, these ejection sites, I call them pharmacum rooms. You know, pharmacum rooms is like, I don't really know how I remember how I made up this word, but it's Latin, like, for like medicine and like, I think Latin for medicine and then like rooms, that's literally it. Like just Latin for drugs and pharmacum rooms. Yeah, I think that sounds cooler than fucking injection sites. Pharmacum rooms, like, yeah, go to the pharmacum room and you can do whatever you want. I hope that catches on. I hope y'all are paying attention to my made up words that could be in a dictionary. But, you know, who's gonna listen to me? You know what I'm saying? Anywho, yes, invading Mexico. I was actually, you know, this compelled me, and you know, this compelled me to go to the Mexican subreddit and ask in my B2 level Spanish what they thought about Obrador. You know, a lot of mixed responses, you know, basically saying, I'll actually kind of go through the Reddit here and read out some of the comments that stood out to me. What stood out to me the most? Fuck. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna keep that up. Because that was even though everyone shouted on him in the comment section, he gave the best this Redditor gave the best contribution to the dialogue. So a lot of them didn't even bother like responding in Spanish. Like, I mean, like, it was kind of pointless for me to make the post in Spanish because like their English is fucking like perfect, like university level shit. So I was kind of embarrassed. So I was like, damn, you know, my pidgin Spanish, and you just come out here with your fucking perfect ass English, making me look stupid. So, you know, but hey, you know, whatever. So let's see here. This is a post that I wanted to just kind of start with. Now that's too long. I might come around to reading that one, but this is the one I want to stand out. This is the one that stands out. I'm sorry this is taking so long, guys. Maybe I might edit this part out. No, let me just read this thread, but it is quite long. So, from me, I won't read his name, maybe, or her name. Okay, so, I basically ask, you know, tell me Mexicans, what is your opinion of Obrador? I say that this is all in Spanish, by the way, I'm just translating in my head. I am a British American and socialist who lives in the United States, and I was curious how your president, AMLO, Obrador, is perceived there. Tell me the bad, the good, and the ugly. Specifically, his policies. Please educate me. And then I add an addendum to that, and then I say, I would love to hear your thoughts about the conservatives in my country and their recent plans to invade your country is fucking crazy in my opinion. What would be the reaction of your country, like the military force? I was implying, you know, or anything. So basically, I got like 2K views on this almost, and 30% upvote rate. They one net minus -1 community karma. They hated me for even asking this question. Like I was this retarded gringo. You know, I think they probably think I was white or something. I don't know, but like they just like
thought I was, they thought I was being like hyperbolic or something, but I genuinely wanted to know because this is something that's concerning, and like the hatred towards Central Americans and South Americans is on the rise in this country, and I think they were just offended, and they thought I was being maybe trolling, especially when I say something like, "What do you think about the recent plans to invade your country?" They thought I was fucking batshit. Maybe they're not like really following this that closely, but this is actually something that is occurring. So a lot of them were saying, one of them says a poor attempt at a dictator in a third world country or something. The president is terrible, only making our country worse. Then this one redditor says, "Chef's kiss English," and it was just fucking gobsmacked. I'm jealous of this person. If I can get my Spanish to this level, then I would be a god. So basically, he says, "Hello, my friend," or she. I think it was just she. Right, it says she. I don't know, but I think he is a she. "Hello, my friend. I just want to leave this comment so you can better understand the context. In developed countries, let's say that you first solved all the important problems, and then you had to excuse me, I can't even read right now. I can't even read English. And then you had time to think more about other things equally important, but that are not a forced order, like political ideologies, criticisms of capitalism, gender studies, etc. These are not more important than crime, poverty, unemployment, having food, health, education." So I think this person is like accusing me of being like a social justice warrior or something. I'm completely not that. I mean, I completely agree that crime, poverty, unemployment, and food and health and education take precedence above gender studies and political ideology and theory, and people, these academics sitting in their ivory tower and parsing and analyzing various ideas. I think that it's the latter that they mentioned was actually takes precedent of all that. So I think they got me pegged wrong. So this is why you in the developed countries have different ideas about these issues, and there it is more common. To related these topics with progressivism, inclusion, constructive criticism of capitalism. On the other hand, in our developing our third world countries, the main problems that have not yet been solved. What happens here is very different from what happens there. The first big difference is that here we are not progressivist or inclusive. Those matters are just beginning here in Mexico. So basically what they're saying is we're just trying to figure like the important shit out first, like crime, poverty, healthcare, education. We don't have time to talk about these highfalutin, pedantic ideas like, intersectionality and things like that. So that makes sense, pragmatism and utilitarianism. So I've seen their perspective on locus, even though I don't agree with it. So normally those are the characteristics of left wing, but not here. Of the left wing, but not here. The characteristics of that political spectrum here are different. And the second big difference is populism. Here, populism is used as an adjective of someone who is very merolico, okay, that has a big mouth. Oh, I just learned a new Spanish word. I'm going to add that to my arsenal of my vocabulary that I have, my burgeoning Spanish vocabulary. He tells you what you want to hear. He tells you that he's going to solve everything, that all the problems will be solved. Socialism here in Latin America is part of populism and is used as a tool to gain political power and indoctrinate the masses along with nationalism. Obrador is no exception. He makes use of these speeches when he's in front of a big crowd and from behind. He is just a corrupt man who sends his children to the best schools in foreign countries to live a rich life. Here on Reddit, most people see him like that. But in other places where people can't even write well without spelling or grammar mistakes or don't know English, like Facebook, where there is not much education, it is exactly the opposite. You will see a lot of people supporting him because they are already very indoctrinated. The best example I can think of to give you an idea, Obrador is like Trump. Okay, I don't really understand how you make that connection. But very much like him when Trump is complaining about fake news. So I really appreciated this response, even though he kind of lost me there at the end. So basically, I responded to this person. She think this person's a she. Also, I'm coming from a position of ignorance, so I don't hope I didn't offend anyone with my question. So that's what I said, because I just saw like the, the dislikes and all that, and I was like, wow, they're really shitting on me here. And yeah, my responses are not really that important, but one of them also wanted to add to him and add to this person's post. What you may understand as left wing in America, UK context has absolutely nothing to do with the Latin American political environment or milieu. We have a left wing that lies to the poor and the uneducated to exploit, rob, and ideologically enslave them, and a mediocre elitist serving white wing that refuses to accept reality and fails to produce any real results. So basically, what they're saying is, they have the left populism is kind of a buzzword there. Socialism is very attractive in Latin America. Communism is very attractive in America. And it's very, they're not straight. They don't really view communism and socialism as some kind of bad word as we do in the United States. And the poor love that kind of talk. They love that. Unlike here, the poor, even though you got to put a socialist candidate in front of them, they basically, they've been brainwashed by this two red scares that we had in this country to think that it's malevolent or evil. Those words, socialism and communism. So essentially, let's kind of move on here. I wanted to give a counter argument though, and they do have some points. Obrador he does seem just a tad corrupt. I was reading an article in Forbes where he was essentially. I kind of stopped saying essentially. I gotta find another word to replace that one. Where he was caught in the midst of his campaign to plant trees and practice all these environmentally friendly policies. I think it was some type of charity or something, and he was actually took that revenue and funneled it to his rich millionaire friends, elitist friends. I mean, I don't know if that's true or a bunch of Western propaganda, but I think they have some reason to resent him. They can't just be making this shit up. But then one guy says here he's one of the best in a very long time, and I want to kind of go over this post to make a counter argument to everything they're saying to kind of paint a more fully illustrated picture. So basically, let's see here. I want to get to the part of this post that I really liked. Just little positives. In our opinion, the current Trump administration has noticeably. And they have a bunch of graphs in here that I can't really show you because I'm essentially. Fuck, Keenan. Use another word besides essentially. Now that I brought attention to it, you're gonna just point out that I say essentially. In our opinion, the current administration has noticeably improved beyond recognition in some areas the standards of transparency, combating against public corruption, tax collecting, public finance health, and governmental austerity. In addition, it has also implemented long-awaited constitutional reforms which at least guarantee and solidify social benefits for traditionally alienated minorities and impose duly reprimand for those abusing corporate power or bureaucratic positions. This administration certainly is of the left-wing humanistic type, which we deem refreshing. Also, the foreign policy has been superb, even while the president clearly does not hesitate to openly and sometimes boldly protect Mexican sovereignty by criticizing or opposing the United States foreign policy. I think they said something that AMLO is probably one of the greatest presidents of Mexico since 1958 to 1964 under the Adolfo Lopez Mateos administration. I don't really know much about that guy. I assume that he has similar political DNA or alignment to Obrador. But here's some of the policies that they liked or that are popular, or some of the things that he did while in office. So when the president on behalf of Mexico granted asylum to former Bolivian President Evo Morales after a coup d'etat favorable to the United States interests, corporate interests. I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a military coup of Bolivia, and the woman who, I think it was a woman who became president under this coup, and she wasn't president for long. She ended up being put in jail. And when the president ordered the disclosing of the entirety of the case file against the Mexican general Salvador Cienfuegos, exposing the DA's fabrications and ill practices, and signed a bill into law limiting DA operations in Mexican soil. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, that's insane. Well, like a good insane. Wow, so that's crazy. That's just wild to me. Okay, so when the president criticized the United States embargo of Cuba, invited its president as a guest of honor to the Mexican Independence Military Parade. So wow, he invited the president of Cuba to a cavalcade. Wow, he doesn't give a fuck, man. So when the president criticized the meddling of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and Mexican Affairs through the active funding of Mexican NGOs from its... Okay, there's a lot of acronyms here that I'm not privy to. So we're going to look them up together. I sound like a 2-year-old or a fucking roadman in the fucking London. Together. Together. Wait, niche, the fake niche. The crew for to live with. One hope, one quest. Like, I sound like that. Jesus fucking Christ. So we're going to look this up. I'm kind of exposing my ignorance here. We're going to learn together. We're going to learn together. Okay, so when they say NGOs, they mean non-governmental organizations. So, like, I mean, Peace Corps or something like that. Or, I don't know, is Peace Corps a governmental organization? I'm not really sure. So, USAID, or USAID, AID, okay. I'm learning shit. United States of Agency for International Development. So he's basically like, sounds like what he's done here. The Department of Homeland Security, I think that's affiliated with the NSA. Let's see here. I don't think it is. Is the Homeland Security? I fucking love Google. Affiliated with the NSA. There's so many fucking government organizations. Yes, not yes, it is affiliated with NSA. I was right. I gotta stop doubting myself. Homeland Security. So like we spy on our fucking allies all the time, and you know he was when he criticized the U.S. Department of Homeland Security meddling in the Mexican affairs. Okay, I'm understanding this a little bit better. Through active funding of Mexican non-governmental organizations from its USAID office. So it's a version of that. So they're trying to westernize it. So my puny Western gringo brain can process all this shit. Okay, this is a lot to follow. I guess this is what you get when you try to understand world affairs and how other countries work. But when the president pushed the agenda for structural reform of the Organization of American States System, or either its full replacement, in an event commemorating the birthing of Simon Bolivar with all Latin American and Caribbean ambassadors present. Okay, wow. When the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, under the President's directive, arranged for the filing of a historical lawsuit in Massachusetts against American gun manufacturers. So, wow. Okay, so this guy has some balls. Basically, what I'm kind of gleaning here is that a lot of these South American countries are moving to the left. And they're combating. You got like Bukele, he's being called a dictator. They're kind of dealing with the crime problem themselves because the United States, we're the biggest consumer or the most loyal or loyal consumer to these exported drugs like cocaine, fentanyl, all that shit. We're the biggest consumer, but we lock all those people up in prison here. And then 150,000 people have died in the war since 2080, maybe even twice as much. And we do that, and literally all we have to do is to kneecap the cartels. I mean, they have drones, they have night vision goggles and shit. They got like silencers, they got all types of shit you can imagine. They buy the police off the police force down there. They buy off the police force. They pay them off, whatever. They're connected with people high up in the government. Like, if they have all this funding, this black market funding. If we legalize all drugs tomorrow in the United States and Canada, we legalize all drugs in Canada and the United States tomorrow, where the fuck are the cartels gonna get their money? They would panic. They wouldn't be able to fund their operation. Granted, they have military bases and they have accumulated accoutrements and resources, so they would be able to fend themselves off for a little bit. But over time, they would get weaker and weaker and weaker, and we would just corral them into one area and just take them to jail and light them up or whatever the fuck. Like, it would be that easy. Like, we just need a president with balls who's gonna legalize all drugs for people over the age of 25. And starting over the age of 21 to 25 for certain drugs when your brain is fully developed. And, they have injection sites. If we did that, like, literally Mexico would be a safe place where people can just go and travel and, like, work and have work visas and, be able to travel interchangeably between the United States and Mexico and Central America. It would be great for, like, South America, and the United States if we legalized all drugs. We would take all that revenue, we could put it in towards drug education, schools. We can use it to pay for all types of things, universal health care, roads, infrastructure. And we could, like, literally just kneecap the cartels overnight. They wouldn't be able to get their money anymore. The drug war has actually made existence in these countries fucking unbearable. And I think if we were to legalize our drugs, that would be like a olive branch or like a stepping stone in order to help these countries not be quote unquote developing. I don't know. I think Mexico is considered a second world country, not a third world country. Is Mexico second world? I'm googling this shit in real time. So they're kind of like yeah, they're second world. I was right. So they're not. They're kind of like Malaysia, Philippines, Turkey, Brazil. I think Russia is considered second world as well. Is Russia? Yeah, so Russia's second world as well. So I mean, like, these countries, yeah, because of that. Because, like, if we legalize drugs, where the cartels can get their money? They would panic. They would be fucked. And people try to criticize Bukele all the time. I'm kind of in between. I kind of see what he's doing as inhumane. Of course, you want to maintain human rights, but I don't think he has that luxury because you gotta understand, like, people who are in these cartels, they'll fucking kill kids, children, young children, family members. They don't give a fuck because if you fuck them over, they'll go to, like, honest working people that work, like, in stores and restaurants, and they say, if you don't give me this money, 90% of your revenue, we are going to kill everybody in your family, and if you don't pay on time, we're going to charge you vigorous and shit and all this. Like, it's not as simple as, like, we gotta respect their rights, and, like, they don't give a fuck about that. They're, like, they don't give a shit. So, like what is Bukele supposed to do? Like, I don't even know too much about his politics. I might be defending, like a complete utter asshole. I'm not really that informed about El Salvadoran politics, but I've talked to, like, a lot of El Salvadorans, people from El Salvador, and they like him, and they say, like, now our country's a safe place to go and visit for tourists and shit. And I'm like, well, if they like him, I mean, it's not really that, like, I don't really feel like, I mean, they're in America, like, they're able to criticize him openly. So, and I know, they don't got fucking, like, little cameras following him around everywhere. So, like, he's obviously not, I don't really think he's a dictator. Like, he's popular. Like, all the people I talk to from El Salvador love him, or, like, think he's great. I don't know. I wouldn't go as far because, like, again, I don't know that much about his background. Let's kind of look up his political beliefs here. Salvador. El Salvador. Nayib Bukele. Let's see what party. Salvadoran. I don't really know. They don't really go into his political beliefs. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm probably gonna edit some of this out if I can. They call him authoritarian. It is a populist party. Well, let's look at the fucking history of New Wave's ideas. So, it was only founded in 2017. Wow. Fucking politics in other countries is crazy. What are the political New Wave's ideas? Positions. It's pretty much center, but like, in one breath, I want to say like what he's doing is kind of fucked up, but like in this next breath, it's like what the fuck is he gonna do? I mean, like, are we gonna help him by like legalizing all drugs tomorrow? No, we're not. So, you know, it's kind of fascinating to see a lot of these Central American and South American countries move further and further to the left and function without the assistance of the United States. You know, despite that we've tried to do coups and various coups in their countries, like in Chile and, you know, and Venezuela and all that shit, and we just try to do that. And they don't give a fuck. They're just acting on their own accord and their own agency. So, yeah, it's back to what I was saying earlier. These fucking Republicans, if they really want to like stop the fentanyl problem, they could legalize all drugs tomorrow. But they're too stupid because that's wrong. I want to make God cry or some retarded shit. But yeah, these Republicans are fucking insane. They got fungus in the main brain. Yeah, they're feral dogs, and I hate them. And yeah, sorry for the rant, guys. Good news. I want to give an update. You know, as soon as I can. Before I probably won't make another video for a while if I can. I just had to get this off my chest. But I have noticed that the quality, you know, the view count of my videos have gone down. And the way that I'm going to try and get that up is by investing in some better equipment, like microphones, cameras, and things like that. Or just a microphone would help, right? I'm like starting to edit my videos so I can be a little bit like boom, 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 look like me. They're edited. Because, I mean, I'm kind of new to this YouTube thing. I've never really taken it seriously. And, yeah, you know. But I will try to invest in a microphone before I make my next video. At least baby steps. You're going to see the quality of my videos slowly and incrementally increase. I mean, I just look at some cool videos. Like, I was watching this video today. I love this channel. I want to give this channel a shout out, or not a shout out because that doesn't really mean anything coming from me. But I love this fucking channel. Like, it's this incredible fucking channel, and I think it's called it's called Ryan Chapman. Oh my god, I love this. Like, when I watch his videos, I kid you not, I wanted to make a video on fascism, and then I saw his video on fascism and was like, I might as well not even fucking bother. Like, this is just like university level shit, like quality shit, like something you can see on fucking TV. And I was like, I ain't gonna even fucking bother. And Ryan Chapman is the fucking shit. Ryan Chapman, go subscribe to his channel. All 33 of you. I mean, watch him rather than me because, like, it's just night and day difference. But I really appreciate you. I would probably recommend for now, like, just listening to my videos instead of watching them. Even though I'm not as eloquent as I wish I was. But, yeah, that's the best way to consume my videos, I think. Just, like, watching them. I mean, listening to them. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I got shit I gotta do. I gotta do this like deep work thing that I'm doing. So look in the calendar report, and yeah, and I'll just end the video. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you.